8 mistakes women make when a man pulls away and what to do instead. Have you ever felt that a man was drifting away, that he was losing interest, pulling away, and it was like a ship sailing off into the distance that you may never ever see again? And you didn't know what to do, you didn't know how to handle it, and maybe you made some mistakes. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how to actually handle this situation correctly so that you can draw him to you to have a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with him without him losing interest, pulling away, and rejecting you for good, potentially. So hi, I'm Brody Boyd, if you don't know me already, and for over 20 years combined, me and my wife Antia have been helping thousands of successful women all over the world to get a loving, long-term relationship with a man they want fast without loneliness, frustration, or rejection, or emotionally unavailable men pulling away. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first mistake women make when a man pulls away is venting on social media. Oftentimes, men will do this as well, is they will turn to social media to complain about their man, their relationship. Maybe sometimes they'll even use vague terms, but everybody knows they're talking about their guy or they're talking about their relationship with their complaint or a quote that they post or something that they share. And what it does is it's actually a passive aggressive behavior because it's not confronting the man or dealing with the issue in the relationship. Instead, it's going out to a social media channel to publicly complain about the relationship. The healthiest thing to do is either deal with the relationship with your man directly or to simply just end the relationship, forget about it, and stop complaining about it. Of course, if you had a hard situation and you want support, emotional support, that's totally fine. But we just want to avoid passive aggressive behavior in this process. The next mistake women make when a man pulls away is blaming themselves exclusively. If you're taking it all on yourself, that it's your fault, you messed up, you have to make it better, you have to do more things for him, you weren't good enough, you weren't good enough with him, in bed, in the relationship, you need to do more, you need to be better, you need to fix it. That's an issue because you're taking too much responsibility onto yourself, and it turns into blaming yourself, becoming a doormat, and losing yourself in the relationship, generally with a codependent behavior. Oftentimes, anxious attachment styles will do this where they are so focused on the other person, they completely lose themselves, and they make it all about what I have to do to make the other person like me so that they don't reject me, so that they don't abandon me. So it's something you need to watch out for because it can lead to destructive behaviors for yourself. The next mistake women make when a man pulls away is blaming him exclusively. Constantly putting the blame on to him, that it's his issue, that's his fault, that he's broken. So like we talked about putting the blame on yourself, well, there's also women that will only put the blame on him, and they will say he needs to change, he needs to be better, he screwed up, he's an asshole, he's a jerk, rather than looking at how they may have contributed, just taking on the possibility how you may have contributed to him losing interest, to him not wanting a relationship with you. Perhaps you did some things that hurt him, or that you weren't meeting his needs in certain ways, that you were overly focused on yourself and what you need to get out of the relationship. And so you actually pushed him away with who you were being in the relationship and how you showed up with either toxic behaviors or doing damage. So look for that as well. The next mistake a woman make when a man pulls away is jumping to conclusions. Oftentimes when a man is pulling away, it's not always about him losing interest in the relationship or losing interest in you. It could also be that he is having personal issues. He's having something going on within himself, whether it's past trauma, whether it's something stressing him out at work, something with his family, something with his health, a financial issue. So to not always just immediately jump to conclusions that he's pulling away because he's abandoning you, he's rejecting you, and he's leaving. It could also be that he just needs space. He just needs space to collect his thoughts, to collect his emotions. Men often need to go into the bear cave to refill up their cup and get back into a place where they can be fully present for the relationship. It might involve him needing to chill out and spend some time with his guy friends or play a video game or watch a movie or just get some space. But if he's doing it too much, that's a bad sign. That leads me to the next mistake women make when a man pulls away, which is refusing to give him space. I had a friend who was I had two friends actually who had gotten engaged and then married, and they had had a lot of issues in their relationship, a lot of drama, a lot of financial issues where they were arguing all the time. They started seeking counseling for their marriage because it was really on the rocks. And the marriage counselor, they had agreed to create a like a 2 weeks of space for each other. And especially the man, he really needed space because he was getting really beat down by her. And they started their process. I don't remember if it was 2 weeks or it could have been 1 week, but what happened is a couple days into the process, the woman refused to give him space. She kept texting him. She kept saying like, I'm gonna go date somebody else. I'm gonna start dating. I'm sick of this. And she wouldn't give him space to just recollect himself. And ultimately, the relationship ended. The next mistake women make when a man pulls away is overcompensating with affection. You may think that the way to get him to come back is you just have to be more affectionate. You have to do more for him. You have to be more pleasing to him. And then he's going to love you forever. And then he's going to come back and be with you. This isn't always the case. And you want to be very careful of overcompensating with this, because what it'll do is it can often show insecurity. It can lower your value. It can lower your self-esteem, and it can actually push him away because it can actually suffocate him. And it is possible to suffocate somebody with too much affection, too much texting, too much calling, too much neediness. So you want to be careful with that. And yes, you want to be affectionate and loving, but you also want to be affectionate and loving to yourself and set boundaries that you are also taking care of yourself and giving yourself everything that you want to give to him, nurturing yourself, which the paradox of that is when you give to yourself, when you fill up your own cup, you become more magnetic, you become more radiant, and you actually draw him back to you as well. The next mistake women make when a man pulls away is relying solely on girlfriends' advice, especially single girlfriends. Be very careful of getting advice from single girlfriends because it's the crab in the bucket syndrome. Generally, the crabs in the bucket are going to keep each other in the bucket. As soon as one tries to climb out, the others are going to grab onto that crab and pull them back into the bucket as well. So if your single girlfriends are struggling in their relationship, or if you have other girlfriends who are struggling in their relationships as well, be very careful because they can only help you to get what they have. Of course, you can get advice, and I recommend that you do get advice from friends around you, friends, family who have a happy, healthy, loving, long-term committed relationship. Get advice from them. But avoid relying solely on girlfriends' advice. And even friends, make sure you're also getting expert advice. You're reading books, you're studying videos like this to get different opinions outside of your normal circle, because you tend to become like the 5 people you surround yourself with, and you're going to create the same relationship as the 5 people you spend the most time with and get the most advice from over the long term. The next mistake women make when a man pulls away is avoiding dating or meeting new people. When a man pulls away, it can be tempting just to wait for him indefinitely and to put everything in your life on hold and just strategize and think about him and talk to girlfriends and endlessly try to see how you can get him to come back to you, rather than opening your horizons to also meet new men and have new possibilities come into your life. That this doesn't have to be the only man for you, that there's billions of men on the planet, and that there's other men that could be a better fit, that this man may not actually be right for you or healthy for you. And at the very least, if you start to open your horizons with your social life, with your dating, you'll start to realize that there are other quality men out there, and it increases your abundance mindset that there's more than enough quality connections for everybody. And that makes you more confident. It makes you feel more worthy. It makes you feel more open and available, which will likely be the thing that will also draw him to you. And if not, somebody better. So as you can see, the mistakes that women make often when a man pulls away generally has to do with doing behaviors that either suffocates him or that puts yourself to the side, neglects yourself, and focuses solely on him without filling up your cup and bringing the energy back to yourself as well, that you are taking care of yourself and that you're making yourself into the flame that draws the moths, the sun instead of the planets, the flower to the honeybees instead of the honeybees. So make sure you're redirecting that energy, and moving forward, you need to make sure you're continuing to get support, you're getting information, you're working on yourself, improving yourself, getting more awareness and knowledge, so that whether or not it works out with him, if he comes back or not, you're going to be a better woman, and you're going to attract exactly what you want that may come in just a slightly different package. possibly. Next, if you haven't yet, make sure to take our free love quiz and virtual coaching session to help you get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a high-quality man you want fast without more loneliness, frustration, or emotionally unavailable men pulling away by going to getlovequiz.com or click on the link in the description or comments below this training. Much love. Hope this was helpful, and I look forward to talking to you more there. Bye-bye.